Hello and welcome to episode 155 of Random Encounter, the RPG fan podcast. I am your slightly hungover host, Derek Eamsbergen. I'm Embryonix on Twitter. That's at EMBRYONX. And today I am joined by the lovely Caitlin Ardros.
Hey guys,
Here she is.
I am still Lian underscore Kazaril, however you want to spell that. Like it's LIAN underscore KAZAIRL because the way I pronounce both those names is probably kind of weird.
Well,
But that's
there it
me.
is. In case you've heard it a million times and you're like, I just cannot find her on the internet. Now you know how to spell it. We are also joined by Nathan Lee, the resident persona dancing expert.
Hey guys, how's it going? I
It's
am Specialty27 on Twitter.
Welcome. Glad to have you here. And then, as always, my lovely Canadian co-host, Greg Delmage.
Hi, everybody. I'm at Greg Delmage on the Twitters and G Delmage on the Discords, and I'm hungover on video editing.
It's a different kind of hangover, to be sure.
It really is.
Yeah, one of us played too hard, one of us worked too hard.
I'm proud of you.
Yeah, thanks. I'm proud of you too. It's been a weekend of play in a lot of ways. We had the monumental release of Smash Brothers Ultimate on Friday, finally, which
Yeah.
I don't know about the rest of y'all, but I've been playing it a ton.
I'm hoping soon.
I hope you get to play it soon too, and we'll definitely talk about that a bit today because there's some stuff related to Smash that I want to discuss as well. But besides that, it was a super busy weekend of video game announcements at the Game Awards, which was unexpectedly really on point and had a lot of cool, meaningful, and exciting stuff coming out of it, which I didn't in any way anticipate. So I'm very excited to delve into all of those announcements and such. And I don't know, it's like rumors are swirling everywhere. There's all kinds of things that we need to discuss since it's been a while since our last podcast with a full crew. And I can't wait to get some sizzling discussion going. I just want to do a little check-in first of all. Caitlin, how have you been? What's going on with you?
I am doing well as always. The whole librarian thing is still going good, so that's all nice. And I'm still spending most of my time trying to prog Savage and Final Fantasy 14 because that's what I do.
What have you cleared up to? 11S?
I have 11S on farm, and I'm trying to get past door boss in 12S. So the struggle continues. I feel like there aren't as many people on Party Finder as there were for the last tier at this point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's been a struggle. I have a static, and I have to wait until they're done for the week before I can be pugging ahead. So that kind of means I don't have as much access to groups as I'd like. So it's a slow process, but it will happen. I know it.
I believe in you. It's kind of a slow
jargon.
time for right. It's a bit of a slow time for 14 at the moment anyway, since we're doing it for our next patch in January before, and then we have one in January, one in March, and then the expansion comes out in the summer. So it's going to be very exciting. I know. I can't wait. We talked a bit about Shadowbringers in the last episode, and I'm sorry you weren't here to discuss it, but
Well, we can when we have more details from a live letter, or as we get close to launch, we can gab and we can speculate and.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, we can.
And I'll live vicariously through you both.
Yeah. I mean, the nice thing about Final Fantasy XIV is you could just, if you're not interested in clearing high-level content yourself, you can always just go on YouTube and like check out some of the cinematics or watch some of these fights.
It's true. I've
they've
listened
got
to a
all
lot
the
of the music, and most of it comes with battle footage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's
and it
really
looks
cool.
rad.
Yeah, good. Caitlin, I'm glad you're doing well with your 14 progress, and that you've got an SSD coming soon, so you can game even better than ever, faster.
Yeah, maybe I'll eventually actually buy the game on PC and be a PC player instead of a PS4 player. We'll see.
I would recommend it, but whatever works best for you. And then let's check in with Nathan. Nathan, you've been dancing the night away, haven't you?
Yeah, I have. It's like it's funny because I was not expecting to review Persona 3 because I haven't actually played that one yet. So I was missing a little bit of the context of the characters and the music itself, but still very enjoyable regardless.
Yeah, and the Persona, it's funny. Like I was looking at the Persona 3 and 5 dancing stuff. I guess this is like a slight non sequitur, or whatever. But The DLC for it, first of all, if you buy all the DLC, it costs more than the game. It's like $80 or something for all of the DLC that's available, which doesn't even include a couple of the songs that are exclusive to like specific characters that they come with, Labrys and Show. Oh my gosh, those are so expensive. And I also noticed that the DLC song packs don't actually let you dance with the characters in game. Like they're all sort of music videos, and so it's like you can't even use the costumes that you buy with the DLC in it. I don't know. I mean, I didn't mean to immediately crap on those games because I love Persona music and rhythm games are fantastic, but the pricing model for that is pretty wild.
Yeah, but I feel like that happens a lot with music with rhythm games these days. Is all the DLC that they have just costs a ton.
Yeah, they can just parcel it out. Well, I'm glad you've been enjoying the games. At least you did review them, so you can check out Nathan's take on both Persona 3 and 5 Dancing over at the main page, rpgfan.com. Check out the review section. And what did you think of them overall? You thought they were pretty good, yeah?
I thought they were pretty good. I kind of wish there was a story to them because especially with Persona 3, I have no context at all. So it's kind of just like, I guess I'm just playing music videos for my enjoyment. But Persona 5 I liked it a lot, but yeah, just the social links just weren't enough for me. I just kind of wanted more to everyone's story, especially because I like hanging out with these characters so much that I kind of wish there was just more to it than just like generic, basically social events.
Yeah, because a lot of the social events are just like, I'm working on my moves. What do you think? Insert character name, and other characters like, wow, you're so stylish. I didn't know you had it in you.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, like that's every conversation.
That sounds pretty insipid.
It's fairly insipid. I will say I think that the localization in this is better than Persona 5's base game. So it's kind of funny seeing some of the dialogue like, oh, okay, there's a bit more flavor here than what you got in the main game at times. So it would have been nice to have that level of polish. But yeah, the actual content of the conversations is often just like, we sure had fun dancing today, didn't we, guys? Woo!
Go
Yeah.
team!
Yeah.
Yeah, basically what it is.
Yeah, that's like being reductive, but yeah, not a proper story mode. Still pretty fun games. I've been dabbling in them myself, and I like them quite a bit. But yeah, it's expensive, and there's not a lot of story, but that's okay.
Random question.
Yes.
If they made a version of Just Dance where it's Persona, it's like you are the Persona character and it's Persona music, would you buy it?
Like a motion control.
Yeah, like a camera motion control, like Just Dance, but with Persona music.
Personally, I'm really big into rhythm games and I like physical activity, so I would probably, buy that, but I'd have to get like a PlayStation camera and stuff again for it. So yeah, I actually would. How about you?
I would.
Yeah, I'm into it.
I probably would.
I mean, they put a lot of care into the animations in the Persona 3 and 5 dancing games anyway, so I'm not sure I can breakdance quite like Joker does, but I'll do my best, I guess. So, that reminds me, I actually went out to an arcade here in the suburbs of Chicago, and they have, I love this arcade because they have Theater Rhythm Final Fantasy All-Star Carnival machines.
Oh, yes, I saw you tweet about that.
Oh my god,
I want to go.
They make me so happy. They're still updating those, by the way, and they have those machines that they have at that arcade are connected to the net, so they're getting new songs every week or whatever. It's amazing.
Wow.
Yeah, I feel like that was a missed opportunity with like Brick Curtain Call. Like, I feel like they could still be making songs and money off of that game.
I'm just hoping that the All-Star Carnival from the arcades comes to Switch or something, because that's a game that, I mean, you want to talk about like itemizing song DLC at a premium and having people be suckers and buy into it. That's me. I will buy every song for that damn game.
Yup.
Yeah, but I was going to say at the arcade they have, I forget what it's called, but Konami has a new dancing game. It's like they actually had Dance Evolution at one point, because they had Dance Dance Revolution, and then I think Dance Evolution. And I forget what the new one is called. Something Stage? I could be totally wrong. But it's actually like a more motion-oriented experience where like you have this floor panel made of LEDs, and you have to actually slide your feet and like crouch beneath a certain threshold for the camera to recognize you and stuff. So it's a little bit closer to some of the games that we used to see on the Xbox 360 Kinect. But in Konami's signature style. So if they made something like that flashy with a Persona twist, I would be all over it. It's very cool. Since I've just been gabbing a little bit, I haven't asked you how you're doing, Greg. What's going on with you? You're working on those videos for us day and night, it would seem.
Yeah, a lot of my time has gone into that lately, which has been very rewarding because it's been fun work in a lot of ways. It's just I need to get caught up ahead a bit, just the way things kind of came out. It just kind of, I wasn't able to get the backlog done that I would have liked to have had finished, but it's been really fun because as I had said at some point yesterday, like I've been discovering a lot of great gems of some of the history of RPGs that I've missed out on, like Lunar and Lufia and the Fortress of Doom, Dragon Quest VI. Like they're all just like really nice polished games because I was definitely a kid whose exposure to RPGs was mostly the Square vein. So it's nice to kind of get outside the box.
Yeah, when you put up that info about Lufia, I was like, oh my god, I miss Lufia so much.
Right? It's like a refreshing change from the Final Fantasy model. Mm-hmm. But outside of that, what I have been playing for fun has been War of the Lions. I picked it up on my Android because it was on super sale with Black Friday, and I was like, all right, I'll do this.
Oh, have you never played that version before?
I got through a bit of it on my iPod back before it had gotten stolen. So I gotten pretty far, but my iPod was an older version. It was really getting clunky and would crash at certain battles and stuff. So it was just not sustainable as a platform to play it on as they kept updating it. And I've just been holding out hope that they were going to port it to Steam since they're porting everything else. And they just haven't. And I was like, I want to play it on a big screen. Come on. But anyways, it was like $5. I'm like, okay, this is all right. I'll do this. I'll give them another $5. This is fine.
How does it control for you?
Really nice. Yeah, I find it's really slick, and I could always the smoother models. It's funny when you have like the full rotation on, like how it's clearly not fully designed for that because the sprites themselves are only for like the 4 directions kind of thing, so that can look a little wonky. But it's nice when you really need, like, if one of those 4 directions just isn't letting you see around a corner or something. It's nice to have that freedom to latch onto. And it's now my new phone can definitely handle what it has to give. So it's been really fun diving back into, like, that's a game. It's one of the few games I can just binge grinding forever. I just find grinding in that game so satisfying.
Yeah.
It's funny you mentioned that because I've been playing Tactics Ogre, Let Us Cling Together on my Vita recently, and finally said, you know what? I'm at work all these hours where I have downtime, so I'm going to start playing this game that I've owned for years, and I'm really loving the crap out of it. It's totally scratching that Final Fantasy Tactics itch, which of course it should because it's the same team. And it's interesting sort of comparing it to Tactics. There are things that it does that I think were revolutionary, that it does better than Tactics. And then there are things that it does that are not as good as Tactics. And it's interesting to be playing it knowing the history of the game and the history of this specific port remake, the timing of it versus Tactics, and to see what they incorporated, what they didn't incorporate, and all that jazz. But it's really fun, and I'm getting kind of sucked into it. So I know the feeling of a really good portable strategy RPG experience.
And a funny story with that is I messaged Caitlin about it actually a while ago because when I first saw that Caitlin was playing it, when you're on PSN, it shows what people are playing, and I saw that she was playing War of the Lions, or not War of the Lions, blah blah blah, Let Us Cling Together, and I had like a momentary like excitement heart attack. I was like, what? I can download this on my PS4? How? Where? Whatever. And I went looking through like all the various offerings. I was like, it's not on there. And then I looked again and it said, oh, PSP. And I was like, no.
Psych.
Yeah.
I've been wanting to play that game so bad.
Totally unintentional psych, but psych.
You were playing it on your Vita though, right? The PSP version?
Yeah.
I need to get that myself. Like a Vita digital download of it, because I still have my PSP and I have a handful of games for it, but it's almost all import stuff, like all the Trails games and what else, like Naruto no Kiseki, and I still have Wild Arms XF. I need to get around to that sometime. Speaking of tactical RPGs, have any of you played that, Tangent?
I didn't even know it was a thing.
Nope. I've never played a Wild Arms game before. I know I am horrible.
Oh, it's okay. I'll allow it this time. No, I miss Wild Arms. Nathan, have you played XF?
I haven't played a Wild Arms game before.
What? Oh my God. We were
Hey.
having a discussion before the show where you guys said you hadn't played some things. And I was like, what? Caitlin and Greg have never played Journey. What? What is that all about?
Oh no, I've been outed. I'm sorry.
Well, I didn't have a PS3 when it was contemporary, and then now that I have my PS4, I just had too much on my plate. That's my excuse.
How dare you not stay on the cutting edge of an expensive hobby and have all of your experiences overlap with mine? How dare you?
I am so sorry.
We can't consider ourselves experts anymore, Greg.
That's fair. All right. Well, you two enjoyed the podcast. Kayla and I are going to go play Journey. We'll be back in about half an hour or whatever
Actually,
it is.
I'd be happy to take a break for you to do that and come back.
That'd be a really funny interruption if I had the time.
Yeah, and then suddenly, boop, and then we return. It's like, it's been 3 hours, and Caitlin and Greg just had a transformative experience playing Journey for them. Oh, man.
Sand. I hate sand. It's coarse. Anyways.
It gets everywhere. Well done. Good reference. Well, on the topic of games that are currently out that folks have been playing, I know that we touched on it briefly in the last episode, but now that we have some more folks here who have put more time into it, I want to get y'all's thoughts on Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. Beginning with, I think, Nathan, you've been playing it the most.
Yeah,
Is that
they kind of
right?
splitting my time between both versions.
Oh, so you are playing both.
Oh wow.
I usually get both versions of the games.
See, as a true Pokemon fan, I'm such a scrub.
He can trade with himself.
It's true.
It's also expensive because I had to get I got the bundles for both, so that was like what?
Oh my
Oh,
gosh,
wow.
$200.
That's commitment.
Then plus tax for me, that's like $300.
Woof. Woof. Why'd you get 2 Pokeballs?
I'm just not big a Pokemon guy.
Okay, just so you can carry around both with you and get all your experience bonuses and items and stuff.
Yeah. Plus, I got my Heart Gold, Soul Silver. I got both of those versions too, the box versions.
With the Pokewalker.
Yeah.
I love
It's got
that thing.
A pair of balls wandering around.
Yeah, well, I mean, welcome to my life.
Ooh, do tell.
Which of the 2 versions do you have a preference? Pikachu versus Eevee, Nathan?
I think Eevee, only because I've already done Pikachu because Pikachu has been in yellow, so I was like I'm more attachment to Eevee. Plus Eevee's OP.
Yeah, it sort of seems like because Eevee can get all those different type moves that are based on his evolutions, and he seems really overpowered compared to Pikachu. I mean,
Right,
Pikachu is still OP, but
Yeah, but Eevee's super OP.
yeah, like because I had Pikachu, and early on, the only special move that I learned was something. Wow, not Pika Kapow, but something Zap.
Zippy Zap.
Zap. Thank you.
Pikachu's Pow sounds adorable.
It is. It is adorable. Yeah, Zippy Zap is just like it's an electric type physical move. I think that 100% of the time is a critical hit. It's like, are you kidding me?
And it always goes first, so
Yeah, so you can just steamroll everything.
mhm.
But then Eevee has all the different type moves, so you can use it against a lot more in a lot more situations. I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
I actually, this is possibly kind of blasphemous, but I think Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee are perfectly good and cute, and I actually don't even really have a problem with the elimination of wild battles in this one, because I sort of see this as a horizontal or like a lateral upgrade or whatever you want to call it. I don't see this as like the evolution of the main series. I see it as kind of a side thing. So I'm not that bothered by the removal of the wild battles and stuff, but I got pretty tired of it quickly. After around the 3rd gym or so, I just lost all interest, and I haven't touched it since. And I don't think I will. I think I'm kind of over it. But my boyfriend has been playing a ton of. He's got Eevee, and he's just going hard on it all the time. And it's a lot of fun watching him. And I kind of like the idea of getting engaged as the second player with him, like helping him catch stuff and seeing what he's doing, rather than playing it myself for once. So.
You heard it here first. Derek's engaged.
Engaged in a video game, perhaps. Engaged in vile and ungentlemanly pursuits. I don't know what I'm saying. I told you I was hungover before we started this podcast, okay?
So
Yeah,
are we titling this episode The Hangover?
as long as we avoid any and all references to the movie The Hangover, that's fine.
Okay, I'll take Gwen off of my chest then. She was strapped to it in preparation.
Oh my God. I did not like those movies.
I've never watched them.
I haven't either, so
Same.
Are we going to get shamed for that too? Huh, Derek?
No, that actually elevates you, in my opinion.
Okay, good.
Good for you. And Caitlin, did you say you've been playing it as well?
I have. I fell to the craze. I wasn't going to, but everybody in all of my circles was just talking about it constantly. So I started looking into it, and I think I'm one of those target audiences for this game. I am not a big Pokemon fan. I played Blue back in the day, and I played like an hour or two of Pokemon X and got distracted and eventually got rid of it. So I'm not in the know. I'm not a super fan. I don't follow the series. I barely remember mechanics and stuff like that. And this is, I think, the game that is kind of, it certainly is enjoyable by super fans, but it is sort of, out there to help attract new fans and people who've only played Pokemon Go, which I also downloaded and started playing because I have to have a Vulpix because I got Let's Go Pikachu, but I have to have a Vulpix.
And a Alolan or original?
What I've caught in Go is the original. It's the one that I would want because I never played the Alolan games.
Oh, gotcha. But Alolan's so cute.
If I find one, it'd be great. But
You will.
Yeah. I try. I pull it out whenever I'm like when I'm walking around and whatnot, or I'm at work and I'm bored and stuff like that. So I catch Pokemon often enough. I haven't gotten to the point in Let's Go where I can access the park though to get my Pokemon. But I have my Switch and my phone connected, so when I get there, I can do that. So it's been a lot of fun. I mean, like it's kind of a nostalgia trip because. This is, I never played Yellow, but the elements of Yellow were close enough to Blue that it feels a lot to me like I'm playing Gen 1 again, or I'm playing through the anime, which was what originally got me interested in the games. I, of course, watched the anime first and didn't even know there was a game series based off of it until after I started watching the anime.
Huh.
It looks so great on the Switch. I think that I'm excited about the future of the series. I may even be excited about Gen 8 because the barrier for me, not the total barrier, but part of the barrier was just the graphics. Even on the 3DS, I mean, it was nice to have it in 3D, but the 3DS doesn't look very good. So it was easy to get distracted by other games on different systems that looked prettier. Just because of the resolution that they offered. So now that the games are on Switch and they look super pretty and I can take it to work with me when I'm bored, I think the draw is there a lot more to actually sit down and play the games and become a Pokemon fan again.
It's so nice. Yeah, I think that as Greg and I were discussing in the previous episode, the intention of this particular iteration may not be to appeal to the hardest of hardcore fans who have followed every single iteration from Red Blue all the way up to here. It seems like more of an introductory title for either younger gamers or people with more experience with the show or just with the original generation who haven't picked it up in a long time, or people who have been playing a lot of Pokemon Go on their phones and they're like, you know what? I want a little bit more of a robust experience than this, and I'm interested in seeing what they've done to the series since then. Yeah, like it seems like a really good kind of it's a gateway drug back into the world of Pokemon.
Yeah, I agree.
And it's I think it's successful at that. I personally don't hold anything against it. I was just kind of surprised that my interest fell off so quickly. I think I just got distracted by other stuff, the least of which not being Smash, because that's going to be all of my time for the foreseeable future. What's up, Greg?
And a random aside, I just randomly thought, let's grab Gwen because she's been playing Let's Go Eevee and she's sitting here with me. If you want to ask her questions about it and put that into the podcast stuff.
Yeah, that could be fine.
Good. Should I have her right here right now? She was just listening to Caitlin talk about her thing.
Oh,
hi,
nice.
Gwen.
Like hi, Gwen.
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
Good.
Oh, I didn't
We're-
realize the microphone was just like right here.
Sure is. Yeah, right there.
Have you been playing a lot of Let's Go Pokemon?
Oh, I've been playing lots of Let's Go Eevee, but not Pikachu.
Okay, so you've got Eevee, and do you like it? Are you having fun?
Yes, it's really fun.
Yeah, Eevee's really cute, huh?
Yeah.
Why'd you pick Eevee?
Well, I just picked Eevee because Eevee's my favorite Pokemon.
Oh, it's a good
Aw.
choice.
Yeah, obviously.
Eevee's adorable. Have you dressed yours up or anything?
Oh, yes, I have.
Yeah. What do you have Eevee wearing?
The sailor's cap.
Oh, so cute. You get that one for when you go on the boat, right?
Yeah.
Nice, nice.
And you also get it for your character.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Are you matching your Eevee?
Yeah.
Of course. You have to. You have to be coordinated, exactly.
Oh, the thing that I like best about it is because my Eevee is overpowered.
So you can just beat everything all at once, all in one go, huh?
Yeah, because in one of these, what's it called again? I forget the name.
The gym battle?
Poke Center? No.
Oh,
yeah.
Poke Center.
One of the Poke Center, there's like this guy that lets you have these 3 moves, like all of them. Bouncy Bubble for Vaporeon, Sizzly Slide for Flareon, and Buzzy Buzz for Jolteon, because you can evolve your Eevee.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, my Eevee's overpowered because there's 3
You
moves.
got all 3 of them?
Yeah. We were talking about that earlier. It makes Eevee so strong.
I know.
Yeah. What do you like best about the game, though? Do you like fighting or do you like catching the Pokemon?
Yeah, you like fighting or catching Pokemon best?
I like fighting more.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Because, like, it's just fun to, like, beat everybody in one hit. With
Oh,
my
yeah.
overpowered Eevee.
You're so strong, exactly.
And have you connected it all to your Pokemon Go?
No,
No, with your dad's?
no.
Oh, okay. So, yeah.
My dad deleted Pokemon Go, and I'm so sad because I got an Aerodactyl.
Oh no! Why did you delete it?
Shame on you, Dad.
No kidding. It was probably like me before we knew this was coming out. I also took it off because I just wasn't using it as much anymore. So maybe I'll have to get it back, and because your account should still be there. And if,
Yeah, my account is still there.
so you can probably re-download everything, I imagine.
Yeah, and I hope my Eevee gym is still going because I made a gym with the 4 Eevees, the normal type, Jolteon, Vaporeon, and Flareon. I made
Oh my
the
gosh.
gym with those 4.
Yeah, I bet I'd be surprised if I saw that. I'd be like, who has all these different Eevee types?
Yeah.
Yeah, if Gwen was a
You.
gym leader, to be an Eevee type wouldn't even be like a.
An Eevee type. Yeah, I mean they have the master trainers in Pokemon Let's Go, so she would be a master type Eevee trainer.
Oh, that makes sense.
Oh, yeah.
Well, thanks for coming on, Gwen, to talk about Let's Go Eevee, I guess.
But that's not all.
That's not all. Oh my goodness.
I got
She
a
ain't done with us.
So I got a
Done yet?
Pokemon Plus, and it has a special Pokemon inside that I have now that battles with me and my Eevee that mostly doesn't really get a hit.
Oh, yeah. Who is yours?
Mew.
It's Mew.
You.
Whoa.
Love
How'd
Mew.
you get Mew?
It came in the Pokeball Plus, and there's only one, so my dad can't get the Mews.
Keeping
Oh,
it
wow.
all to yourself.
Yeah. And also, my dad has the 3 red and blue starters.
Oh, that makes sense.
Oh, so Bulbasaur,
And they're
Charmander,
all
Squirtle.
fully evolved.
Ooh,
Nice.
now they're all super strong. Who do you
I
like
only-
best of those?
Yeah,
Pardon me?
which one do you like best?
I'm always fire starter.
It's true.
So Charizard.
Ooh, Charizard. Good choice. I like Venusaur.
Ditto. I'm right there with you. Bulbasaur is my jam.
Well, when my dad played Pokemon Blue, he had all 3 of them because he traded with his brother named Brad.
Okay. Yeah.
He's very wise.
That's what you have to. You used to have to do that. Yeah, back with Pokemon Red and Blue.
Yeah.
That's why I keep trying to find someone myself who has it on 3DS port.
Well,
Wait, maybe we can trade one time.
Maybe we can.
Yeah.
you could.
Blue.
There you go. Well, on that note, we're going to go talk on other stuff now. But thank you for coming on.
You're
Thank you,
welcome.
Gwen.
Thank
Bye
you,
for now.
Gwen.
Nice talking to
Bye.
you.
Bye. Bye.
See you.
Bye. That was the cutest interview we've ever had on the show.
Oh my god.
I'm glad
She's
we
so
finally made it happen.
cute.
Thank you. I'm glad we found a way to get her on board, and this seemed like the perfect opportunity.
Yes, that was so cute. She has such an adorable laugh.
Yes, she does. It's infectious.
Well, now we have the definitive take on Pokemon Let's Go, and I don't need to
There you
ask
go.
anybody else.
Yeah.
Adorable.
So that note, did you get 2 Mews then, Nathan?
Yeah, I'll be getting to me. I still haven't taken out the Pokeball yet, though, but I'll be getting to it.
Haven't taken them out yet?
No, well, because Eevee's so overpowered, I don't actually need a new the Mew.
That's basically what
It's
Gwen
okay.
just said. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
but that kind of reminds me of. Did you get both versions then, Greg?
No, I did not. Her dad has already picked it up at his place for her with the Let's Go Eevee, and then she doesn't know it yet, but we have our Switch coming that has the special edition one, and it has Eevee on it as
Ooh.
well. So, but that's for Christmas that we got as a family gift for ourselves. So I'll finally have a Switch at Christmas.
Ooh,
Nice.
Yeah.
I was actually about to mention that it would have reminded me of when my dad had it too, because my dad would play Pokemon along with me when I was a kid.
Oh, nice.
So just kind of reminds me of that. You know, we would battle each other like when we had time, and it was fun. It was kind of like a good childhood memory.
Yeah, bonding experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like whenever the next big gen one comes, I think I'll probably get that with her, and then her and I can duel and stuff like that. But since she has a Switch at her dad's as well, so that way if they bring it over whenever, we can battle it out.
Yeah, I think all of this speaks to the kind of magic of Pokemon, the accessibility, the fact that there are so many different layers to it that can be enjoyed by either younger players or seasoned players, and the shared kind of experience of coming together and each having your own version and trading with somebody who's close to you. Like I said, I play with my partner, and when I was a kid, I had friends who played it. Nathan got to play it with his dad. Greg is a dad and is playing with his daughter. Like, that's so cool that everybody can kind of enjoy Pokemon and that it continues to have that magical quality about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree.
Yay for Pokemon.
The power of Pokemon.
The power of Pokemon.
Power of friendship.
The episode
Oh
title,
no.
The Power of Pokemon.
No one has said that yet in Let's Go. So here's
That's shocking.
It's coming at some point.
I bet it will. Yeah. If you as long as you and your Pikachu are best friends, you can do anything. Something
Except
like that.
handle when Pikachu talks.
Oh my god.
It's
Yeah,
so
no.
cute. What? Cute.
I mean-
Ryan Reynolds though.
I'm talking like Detective Pikachu.
No, it's just meaning how like everyone was super shocked in whatever the last
That
Pokemon
movie.
Oh, that,
Oh.
yeah.
I always want to be with you. Yeah.
Well, that was pretty stupid. So
Yeah, that was weird. But it wasn't like a dream, so I guess you can kind of explain it away.
Oh, was it? Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. I never
That's
had
less weird.
context for it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
me neither.
I
just
actually-
remember people being shocked.
Haha, shocked. I saw that movie in theaters. They had a special because it was the 20th anniversary, I think,
Yes.
of Pokemon. So they had an actual one night event, and I went with my friends and saw it. This came out like a year and a half ago or something. I went and saw it in theaters, and they gave us a special Pikachu trading card and stuff. They're
Yes.
like, it was cute. Do you
wanted
know the
to
premise of that
win.
movie? It's that they rewrote the sort of first episode of the anime, first episode ever, and made it into a full length movie.
Nice.
Yeah, and then the whole thing is because at the end of that first episode, Ash sees Ho-Oh flying through the sky, and that was a
Which
Pokemon that
they
wouldn't
never
be
addressed.
yeah, it wouldn't be revealed until a generation later. And so in the movie, it's actually like they see him, and then they actually go searching after Ho-Oh, and then for some reason, the new mythical Pokemon Marshadow is involved. It's a whole thing. And
And I
then
was,
they
I
can
was
still-
reading. I thought it was just gonna be like a remake of the first like episode or so, but it's this whole new different thing.
yeah, and then they can
I
sell
think I-
Marshadow merch.
I thought it was the 1st
Mhm.
movie or something like that they were redoing. Anyways.
That whole
That's what they
sequence
initially
kind of
pitched.
felt like the end of the first movie, only reversed or something.
Yeah. Oh. Well, something that I wanted to move on to besides our now playing is there was an absolute glut of information released at the Game Awards this past weekend. And in addition to that, there was the Kind of Funny Games Showcase on Saturday that had even more announcements. So the Game Awards, I I expected so little from the Game Awards. Like in previous years, I had tuned in. I think the first year or two, I tried watching it, and it was a total cringe fest, like out of touch humor and references, and Mountain Dew, Doritos fueled gamer type jokes, and like it felt very amateur and kind of embarrassing for people who put so much energy into playing video games. But this year, oh my God, did they step it up. It was totally different from some years past, and the production values were way higher. They had a lot of celebrities there. They had the CEOs of Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft all present at the same time, sharing the stage. That was a cool thing.
That was awesome.
I felt like the universe would explode.
I know. and in addition to I take umbrage with some of the nominees and the arrangement of the categories, but I guess like personally, I don't have too much investment in who wins what award necessarily. I did really want Celeste to win an award, and it did, so I was very happy for them on that. But a lot of the nominees are like, yeah, it's typical. All of the AAA games that sell the most are the ones getting nominated, and there are so many games that go underrepresented at functions like that just because they have limited sort of penetration into the market or whatever. So it was, on a personal note, like if we're talking about categories, I was kind of eye rolling at Red Dead Redemption winning so many things, especially best soundtrack. Like, come on.
That was horrible.
Yeah, that was a robbery.
Like, best soundtrack over Octopath and Celeste. Are you kidding me?
Seems a little silly.
Yeah, and that's not to devalue the work that goes into making the sound for a game like Red Dead Redemption 2. I just find that, like, I get it. It's a like an Ennio Morricone Western score. We've heard it before. It's not anything, I don't know. It's not to my taste, so maybe it's not fair for me to pounce on it like that. But I was just like, really, you guys, this is like the most sort of basic choice you could have made. But that aside, I found a lot of enjoyment in watching the Game Awards. I was, like I said, no expectations, and I sat there watching it, and they just rolled out announcement after announcement after announcement of really good-looking games for the most part, and not just big-budget things, but like a lot of really cool-looking indies. And also a lot of games that were thematically distinct from one another. It wasn't like what you would expect to see at a gaming awards show, like it's all shooters, all explosions and stuff, because we've had discussions in the past about how E3 conferences can sometimes like really go hard into that. Like everything is just gory, mature, explosions, violence, and I'm not really interested in a lot of that kind of stuff. And so it can get it leaves a bad taste in my mouth, and that's all we see. So I'm really glad that even though there were some really violent things, like there was the Mortal Kombat thing, which I wasn't into, but that's Mortal Kombat. And there was, Far Cry 5, or I forget, that had a lot of like post-apocalyptic, we're going to shoot everything. And it's like, okay, cool. But then they had all these things like, what was Sayonara something or other? Shoot. It was like a pop album video game they described it as. And then we had the Last Campfire, which looked like Chibi Journey. Super adorable. There was Pathless, the action sort of, I couldn't really tell exactly what the gameplay was like, but you played as a kunoichi who has a hawk and these beautiful cel-shaded environments and stuff, like all kinds of neat stuff. But I wanted to get into some of the more relevant ones for us specifically, since we are RPG fan. The first, I'm just going to go ahead and start with the biggest announcement from the show. Near the very end of it, there was a part where the broadcast sort of went fuzzy and then the screen turned red. And all of a sudden you hear some Persona characters speaking, and it sounds like they're on a mission, or they got an invite somewhere. And for once they didn't send a calling card, they received one, because Joker from Persona 5 is going to be the first DLC character in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate.
Yay!
I was so hyped. I was actually in line for the minute launch, and we were like, a lot of people in line were watching the Game Awards, and everyone was just kind of just freaking out, just like, what's going on with what's the Persona thing? Then everyone lost their minds and saw it was Smash. It was a good moment.
Oh yeah, I lost my mind for sure. I had been watching the stream at home, and then it got towards the end of it, and I was like, all right, I'm starving. We have this little pub that's like 3 minutes away from our house, so I was like, I'm just gonna pop over and get a burger. And I was sitting there at the bar with the stream on my phone, and I didn't have any sound at that point. So it was like the last 20 minutes of the show, and I was talking or something, and then I glanced down at my phone, and then I just barely started to catch the beginning of when it turned red, and I was like, what is this? Oh my God! And I was very much like, I'm sure I was causing a scene. I damn near fell out of my chair. I'm sure the beer didn't help, but
Someone's like, I'll have what he's having.
right? Hype. I was having a large serving of hype.
And I just like that they posted on their Twitter too. They're like, no one saw it coming, kind of thing, or you didn't see it coming.
Yep.
Mhm.
And just following with that, it just would have been even funnier if they were just like, and also Waluigi, just would have just
Oh my
like
God.
been so
Wow.
dumb and throwing everybody.
Wow. Yeah, what an announcement. I think that announcement, and first of all, hype. I'm super excited. I can't wait to see Joker in Persona 5. I think he's an excellent addition.
And Smash, you mean?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, in Smash. Joker from Persona 5 in Smash. Sorry. Excellent choice. He's got a move set that works perfectly, I think, with the game, and I'm excited to see what they do. If he's going to have like personas, or if it'll just all be his kind of gunplay and stuff.
There has to be personas
Yeah.
Persona for sure, and maybe there'll be like a kind of like a Shulk thing where he can shift between different persona for different attacks or
Oh
things
man,
like that.
that'd be so cool. Yeah, what a great announcement. And besides him being a playable character, that announcement signaled quite a few other things. So first of all, it confirms that Joker is coming with his own stage and a bunch of Persona music for Smash.
That's what makes me most excited. It's going to hear the music.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What stage do you guys think it's going to be?
Oh,
I'm guessing the casino.
yeah, that would make
This-
sense.
I'm going to guess Velvet Room or maybe Shibuya.
Okay. Yeah, I think any of those could work. Either like the Shibuya Scramble or the Prison of the Velvet Room. Okay. Yeah, I actually hadn't even really thought of those. Okay, so we have that. We're going to have music. I assume they're going to make some new arrangements of the music, but we'll probably also get some untouched music. Didn't they say it was like 5 music tracks per stage or something?
I don't think they specified.
didn't
At least
specify.
at least I don't recall them specifying.
Okay, but we'll definitely get music. So that's the thing that was implied / confirmed by the announcement. Also, that means we're going to get a Joker amiibo.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah, right? I want that. I need that. And also, it leads into this other rumor that's been swirling around, and it's that Atlus is purportedly going to be releasing an enhanced version of Persona 5 on the Nintendo Switch. That's a huge deal, and this is not confirmed. This is just a rumor, but a credible source, Twitter user who goes by the name Mystic Distance, who is actually somebody who was involved in some of the leaks for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and I guess that may or may not have landed them in hot water. But this person does not work for like Nintendo or anything. They just have some credible sources. But anyway, it turns out that supposedly Atlus has been working on, or at least considering, a Switch version of Persona 5 for Switch since mid-2017. And the rumored version will contain adjustments to the game and add new aspects to the scenario, amongst other requested additions. I'm just reading this text from a Siliconera article. And then also there are some registered domains by Atlus that they have p5ag.jp, p5r.jp, and p5u.jp. Who knows what any of those could mean, but I think all of those kind of point towards a new Persona 5 thing existing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
it would make sense. And I feel like if they're going to add Joker to Smash, then we can't play the game he's from on a Nintendo console, so wouldn't it make sense for them to make that possible?
Yeah.
Yep.
I for one would replay it. I think I've gone on record as a little harsh on Persona 5. Just some aspects of it that really stuck with me and left a bad taste in my mouth, with like the less than stellar localization in some aspects, and also like some of the characterization and like the themes that I thought were a little bothersome, considering the idea was like rebelling, and then it felt like very, I'm going to use the word conservative in some, like thematically conservative, or what's the word I'm looking for, like culturally conservative. So overall, I think Persona 5 is still a standout game, and it seems like whenever I bring it up to talk about it, I end up kind of fixating on those things. So I don't mean to be super negative on it, but I would welcome the opportunity to revisit it, especially with some added scenario stuff. What if they make Shogi Girl a playable character?
That would be
That'd be awesome.
amazing.
Yeah.
I want her. Yeah, she's such a cool design. I would love to see her in the party. So, yeah, that was the biggest, most exciting piece of news from the Game Awards. There were all kinds of things, but that's the one that I think knocked everybody's socks off, and I can't wait to see how all of that plays out. Additionally, at the Game Awards, we got some announcements for other RPGs. The first, I believe, was that Team Ninja is working on Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, The Black Order, and it's going to be a Nintendo Switch exclusive. I've never played any of the Ultimate Alliance games. Have any of you?
Nope.
I briefly played Ultimate Alliance 1. It was kind of fun, but a little bit repetitive.
Okay. Greg, have you played?
No, I was never a big enough Marvel fanboy to dive into those things.
Yeah, I'm not such a Marvel fan myself, but I have a friend who was like extremely excited about that announcement because he's played all of those as like co-op things, and it's been a big event for him every time one comes out. So I know a lot of folks are excited, and especially because the last Ultimate Alliance was it PS2 or PS3? It's been some time.
It was on PS3, but it's been quite a while.
Yeah, like early era PS3.
Early
Yeah.
PS3, yeah.
Yeah. So that's exciting for folks who are interested in Marvel Ultimate Alliance. They finally got a new one. And that's also a good opportunity for them to include some of the characters that have been featuring in a lot of these major films lately. And they can use it to promote upcoming films and stuff. So Marvel is a whirlwind franchise that has all kinds of stuff going on all the time. And I personally can't keep up, but that's very exciting for the folks who do. Another big announcement at the Game Awards was Supergiant, the makers of Bastion and Transistor, announced Hades. It is their new action RPG that has extraordinarily obvious Souls-like influences. It looks like you are going through, like, battling through some areas against members of the Greek pantheon, possibly. I think are you in Hades? You must be, right? Or is Hades the god who is present there? I don't know. Are you Hades?
I think you're his son.
Okay. Because there's a screenshot, I think, where Zeus says something about nephew, right? My Greek mythology is a little lacking.
Hades and Zeus are brothers.
Okay. Yeah, so that would make whoever you're playing as Zeus's nephew, Hades' son.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the bearded guy at the beginning is supposed to be Hades. You can see Cerberus behind him.
Oh, okay. Duh. It looks just like Transistor in terms of its isometric perspective and like the character model and everything. It's got its own kind of flair to it, but it seems like since Transistor, Supergiant has kind of stuck to this structure, model, formula. Pyre was a break with tradition because it was a 3-on-3 fantasy magic basketball game, which was excellent in my opinion. But this one's going back a little bit to the action RPG roots that Supergiant is known for. So the big surprise was that Hades, as of the announcement, was immediately playable in early access. So they released it through the Epic Game Store. I had never heard of the Epic Game Store before the Game Awards. Had any of you?
I think I want to say it's new, isn't it?
It's because Epic Games does Fortnite, right?
Yes.
Okay, because I've never played Fortnite, and I know it's huge, but I didn't realize that they had their own storefront, or I guess this was kind of like the launch of their new storefront or something. But anyway, it's meant to be a Steam competitor of sorts, or maybe closer to like a GOG competitor. I don't know if there's DRM. I think they have their own client. Can any of you confirm? I haven't used it yet.
I don't even go anywhere near that, but
Okay.
Yeah, so it's they just launched it actually.
yes, yeah.
Okay. Well, anyway, if you're interested in Hades, sorry, what's that, Nathan?
I haven't tried it yet. I just launched days ago, so.
Okay. Yeah, so Hades is available in early access. It's $19.99, and their vision is to kind of make this into a Souls-like, roguelike action RPG that has chapters roll out every so often, not unlike the different arcs of a TV show or an animated series. So It's certainly got beautiful art, but when has a Supergiant game not had beautiful art?
Yeah, it looks so neat.
Mm-hmm.
And Darren Korb returns once again to compose the music for it, and his
Yay.
compositions are always excellent. So I'm interested in it. I think I might actually try for the early access, because if it's $20 and you get, all future content and updates included in that price, I think that's not so bad at all. So I think I'll probably try it out and report back on the show one of these days. So I just have to figure out what the Epic Game Store is all about. And they are offering through the Epic Game Store free games, I guess. Every 2 weeks or so, they rotate out one free game. The first one is going to be Subnautica, and then the second one is going to be Super Meat Boy Forever. It's a Meat Boy game, I can't recall. So, I mean, it seems like a pretty sweet deal to get in and start getting free games. I think it just seems like you have to use their client and platform along the lines of Steam or Origin or whatever. I sort of wish these could all be unified under a single heading, but oh well.
Yeah, it'd be nice.
So it sounds like they're kind of competing with like what Xbox Live and PS Gold does, kind of thing, to encourage people to be there.
Yeah, although it seems like you don't even have to pay you don't have to pay. It's just like have an account, and as long as you log in the time frame, you get access to it to add it to your library, I think.
It's interesting.
Cool. Yeah, we'll see how that plays out. Another big announcement at the show was Obsidian announced Outer Worlds, their new sci-fi, possibly post-apocalyptic or at least like galactic RPG. I don't really know much about this other than the trailer that we saw. Have you looked into it much, Caitlin?
Yes. So they had I'm not sure where, but they had a hands-off demo, which you can find some footage of that, probably with commentary on YouTube. And it definitely looks a lot like Fallout in space, kind of.
Yeah, that's what I got from it.
It looks beautiful. Like the environment looks bright and colorful. It immediately looks a lot more interesting to me than the sort of drab kind of setting of post-apocalyptic. Where was Fallout 4? Boston? Or
yes, that sounds right.
So there's that. The demo had you with 2 companions right off the bat. So it's not quite clear like how far into the game it is. But you had companions that showed up, like, they had their own stats and whatnot. You could talk with them. Your character does not speak, apparently, so it's more of a return to that sort of traditional experience. Where you can sort of put your own voice into play. But I mean, other than that, I mean, I skimmed through some of it, but it definitely looks a lot like, a kind of Fallout-like experience with shooting guns. There are crazy monsters. There's something going on with perks and whatnot. I'm not sure I have the full story about it. But it sounds like it might be that you can choose to gain a perk alongside a phobia, I think, of monsters. And I'm not sure if it's just like as you kill a certain number of monsters, you can gain a phobia, but there's also an upside to it. All very early on, obviously, but it might be kind of an interesting sort of twist on a perk system if it involves actual gameplay and your preferences with regarding like what kind of enemies you fight, and then trying to figure out strategically what phobias to take in order to get certain bonuses or whatnot. But
very neat.
Yeah,
It has a bit of an aesthetic to Fallout 2 as well.
Yes, yeah, it feels a little bit more in the older style, I think, of Fallout than the newer ones, from what I can tell.
Which makes sense with the original creators being involved.
Exactly. It's one to keep an eye on. If only Rob Steinman was here, I'm sure he'd have plenty to say about it. But I for one, I'm not such a devotee of the Fallout series, so I don't really have any strong opinions on it yet. It's one that may shape into something cool, so I certainly wouldn't write it off. But it's neat that the original creators are working on something new, kind of in that same vein. So let's hope their experience makes a cool product. So
Fallout 4, like, I don't know. I don't think I necessarily bounced off it as hard as some people did, but I definitely bounced off it. Like, it just got kind of and I think the immediate thing with this game is just how it looks much more vibrant and colorful. Just not even just like literally the colors, but it looks like it has the potential to be a much more interesting world than that sort of same, oh well, it's post-apocalyptic locked in 1950s America kind of thing. So I'm excited to see more about this and yeah. So
I think
Yeah,
a
the
new
Vibrant
setting.
Seed definitely feels very Borderlands-y, No Man's Sky kind of thing.
yeah, it kind of feels a little bit more in that vein. So I'm all for that.
Okay. Yeah. We'll keep an eye on it. Let's see. So there is another Game Awards announcement that I want to get to, but I think it ties into a question that we're going to answer from a listener later on. So I'm going to postpone that for just a moment. There was a stream. So Greg Miller, who I can't stand, hosted. He has the Kind of Funny awards, or Kind of Funny. Greg Miller's from that. Rob Steinman also has expressed his distaste. Not such a fan. I don't really like his style, but the Kind of Funny, I think it was the awards or something, Kind of Funny Games Showcase happened on Saturday, and there were a number of video game announcements on that, mostly smaller indie titles. But I think the one that's most relevant to us in our coverage is Y2K, a postmodern RPG. This finally got a release date after years. I remember I played Y2K for the first time at when I lived in Tucson, Arizona. There was Camp Fangamer. Fangamer is the video game merch company that originally got their start with Earthbound related merchandise, like via Starman.net, and they've sort of become the de facto creator of ridiculously high quality polished games merch. So Camp Fangamer was more or less an Earthbound convention, and they held it in Tucson. And it was a fairly small thing, but at Camp Fangamer, I mean, it was like at a hotel, and they had basically just a couple of rooms rented out and a main stage where they played music a couple of times. And it was quaint, but in one of the handful of rooms at the con, they had a demo station set up for Y2K, mostly because Y2K is heavily inspired by Earthbound in the sort of like quirky 90s America style of like world design. And I previewed this a while back. So I played it there at Camp Fangamer, and I also played it at E3, I want to say 2 years ago, and I wrote a preview of it. And it's this like hyper surrealist, kind of like Haruki Murakami inspired turn-based RPG set in the 90s. And it's got like the main character is like a hipster who throws vinyls at enemies, and there's like a robot girl, I think. And God, it's been so long that I can't even remember the main premise of it. Like I know somebody goes missing, like somebody's brother or sister goes missing, and you're trying to find them. And I'm not really doing
talking about it.
Yeah, I'm not doing the game justice, but it's spelled like Y Roman numeral 2K, YIIK. And it just looks so bizarre and cool, and I'm excited to have heard that it's finally releasing on January 17th. It's also coming to Switch. Originally, it was going to be a PC game, but it's coming to Switch as well, and then Vita later in the year. And it might actually be coming to something else, PS4, Switch, PC, and Mac on January 17th, and then PS Vita later in 2019.
Well, someone still loves the Vita.
Yeah. I'm surprised that they've really pushed to get a Vita release of it out. Oh, it's also got, notably, it's got the soundtrack has contributions from Toby Fox, Undertale's composer and creator, and Hiroki Kikuta, Secret of Mana's composer. So they've got some pretty big names on board. It looks bizarre and cool. Go look it up. Y2K, a postmodern RPG. It's coming out pretty soon. The final non-reader question related announcement that I wanted to bring up is, here's one I didn't really see coming. Tales of Crestoria is getting a Western release in 2019. This is kind of, I mean, it's the latest entry in the Tales series, but it's not a mainline console RPG. It is a smartphone game, which personally, it kicks my enthusiasm down several notches, but seeing as I'm now a filthy convert to the ways of the gacha game, and I'm still playing Dragalia Lost, I guess anything is possible. So Tales of Crestoria is coming out in English in the West in 2019. The sort of theme of the game is, the tagline rather, is "Live even if it's a sin," and it's genre because the Tales series games always have like their own genre attached to them, which are all made up nonsense. But this is a RPG written in blood and betrayal. That's the genre.
Wow.
Yeah. So if you check out there's a Tales of Crestoria English Twitter account now. It's TO_Crestoria_EN. And they have like a little teaser trailer with an announcement, and you can see some of the character art, which is pretty nice actually. Some interesting character designs on that one. And
The teaser was intense.
Yeah, I'm going to showcase my ignorance on this game here. I have no idea if it's going to be like a gacha game or if it's going to be like a you buy scenarios or whatever, but it's possible it could be decent. So I'm going to keep an eye on that, especially since it feels like it's been forever since Tales of Berseria came out. So I'm kind of interested in seeing what happens next with the Tales series. Connected to that, they did announce that the Tales Festa, which is I don't know if it's annual actually, the semi-regular fan event held in Japan where they announce Tales-related things, that's going to be happening in the summertime. And they haven't given any information about like what's going to debut there or whatever, but it's going to be a thing. So we'll hear more about Tales in the summer of 2019, possibly the announcement of the new flagship title. Woo, that has been a lot of news. And that's not even everything that came out over the weekend. There's so much, and not all of it is necessarily strictly RPG related, but a lot of the announcements are very, very exciting. I do want to segue into a listener question that was left to us. Greg, you fielded a question from, I don't know if it's J Scarpe or JS Carp, like short for Carpenter, or J Scarp, but he left us a question. What was that question?
What do you think, everybody, is the future of the various BioWare RPG series? Since obviously a lot of them have been met lukewarm lately. I think that's what they're getting at. And does the future of BioWare hinge then on the success of Anthem?
Well, the question comes at an interesting time. Do you know if it was left before or after the Game Awards?
This was definitely before the Game Awards, so I'm wondering how Jay Scarp's question could be shaped differently. But when we were talking about this in the pre-show, you did mention that it's still very relevant because I think Caitlin mentioned that it's very relevant still, that there's nothing saying Anthem can't tank and stop everything in its tracks. So
yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Wasn't there some kind of like press access to Anthem that some places got, or it's like still under embargo? I don't know.
There was an alpha this weekend, but it was not for press. There was a strict NDA requiring people to not speak about it in any capacity. We actually inquired if press could participate and if they would have an exception to that NDA, and the answer was a resounding no. This is just a sort of a feedback for them to get player feedback to improve the game. So that's happening this weekend. Of course, there will be at least one beta probably in January or early February for the game that will either be completely open, or it will at least be open to Origin members and people who pre-ordered, of course. So that's been going on. But they did show a story trailer at the Game Awards. There was no gameplay to be seen. It was all characters talking about something. This what's interesting to me is that we didn't really know the context of the name Anthem. I think I assumed it was just like either just, hey, Anthem, or if it was meant to refer to the order of like the Javelin pilots, an anthem for soldiers or whatnot. But apparently Anthem is a thing or a person or some sort of force, possibly similar in style to like maybe the Traveler from Destiny, some sort of alien power. But they referred to the Anthem, so that's probably going to factor into the story of the game. Beyond that, it was just like, oh, this alien world and monsters, and the Javelin pilots are our first line of defense, and their facial animations looked really good. So there's that.
But we don't have too much to go on as to whether it's going to be BioWare saving.
Yeah, it was kind of funny because Casey Hudson was there to sort of introduce it, and it was like, hey, we've been so focused on gameplay that we haven't really shown you much about story, and that's going to change. And then it was like a 2-minute or less, very vague trailer. I'm excited for the game, but it kind of felt a little generic. So there's that. Hopefully that just means that this is the start and that in the next 2 months we will get more and more details from them about the story, because I think everyone is rightfully most concerned about the story, especially considering what BioWare has told us about characters and the what little that they've trickled out about the story. So yeah, there's that. And I mean, I think Anthem could tank. It might not. I was saying pre-show that Anthem, I mean, it might drive away traditional, RPG hardcore fans, but it might also draw in the crowd that really likes Destiny, because it certainly is looking like it's kind of BioWare's attempt at doing kind of a Destiny thing.
Right.
So, with regards to whether it will be a financial failure or success, I mean, that's kind of up in the air.
At the moment, yeah.
Yeah. Depending on what it ends up being, it might, I could see it making, traditional like BioWare RPG fans just say that's it. The studio is dead. They're creating flops, or they're making stuff like Anthem that isn't really what I want from a BioWare game. So it has maybe the potential there to impact BioWare, but I'm trying to stay positive because I'm interested enough of the world of Anthem and the gameplay to give it a shot. And
Ditto.
I don't know, maybe it's the ever failing optimism. I don't want to think that Anthem is going to be like the last thing that BioWare does, because not only would that be sad to lose BioWare, but I mean, it would be sad if their last thing was something that they're not really known for or strong for, the kind of experience that we really love from BioWare. That, assuming that Anthem, like a lot of people are afraid, is a totally different direction and not like, true peak BioWare RPG form. Obviously, this is all a lot of speculation. We don't really know until the end of February rolls around.
Well, sorry, you're saying?
I was going to say, though, that the reason why we feel ready to, talking about Game Awards announcements and wait on this last one is because we had a teaser trailer at the Game Awards, very, very teaser. Like it's barely even a trailer for an untitled Dragon Age game that we're all just kind of, I think, collectively calling Dragon Age 4 right now, because there is no official title for the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very short. It was basically some interesting looking artwork showing someone fighting a shadow wolf like figure, and voiceover from a particular character from Inquisition that I don't necessarily want to spoil if you haven't played the game. It's a character that they are not who they seem in that game. And this trailer makes me think that they will be making an appearance maybe in a significant way in the game. But it's confirmation that Dragon Age 4 is a thing, even more so than, yeah. And it's going to be a long way out. Like this, I don't think anyone's expecting this game for at least 3 years, if not more.
You did Inquisition, and I have not. Derek, did you, Nathan?
I played it.
I've been meaning to, but I didn't get around to it.
Because obviously looping back into the first part of Giskarp's question is after Inquisition, did you see that as kind of being like, I don't know if they need to make another one of these, or
I didn't. I saw, I think that most of the hesitation surrounding BioWare's credibility as a studio or whatever started with Mass Effect Andromeda, because
right.
that game, was a symptom of a protracted development cycle, and they had to rebuild a lot of the assets in it, like midway through development, and like there were a lot of issues on the production side of that game that led to it releasing in the state it was in. And even then, it's not like it's a terrible game or anything. I just think that there was a lot of really hyperbolic fan outcry when it came out that sort of tarnished the reputation of the studio, which in turn probably led to them deprioritizing Mass Effect as a franchise. So with Dragon Age, I just sort of felt like another one would happen eventually, but I didn't see like Dragon Age Inquisition's reception as being negative enough to warrant like skepticism on whether or not BioWare would continue to exist.
Yeah, I agree. I think the main game in Inquisition it feels kind of final for the sort of the build up, because I mean there are elements of Inquisition that relate back to Dragon Age 2. And it sort of felt like kind of an end to that. But then there was DLC that came out for Inquisition, one of which ended very much in a way that suggested that we were going to see certain characters again. It was, in some respects, almost kind of a cliffhanger kind of resolution. So I don't know. With that DLC, I was kind of like, well, they're going to have to do something else, because they left some breadcrumbs there that need to be resolved. But yeah, I agree. I never really thought, oh, well, that's it for Dragon Age. And I believe that we will see Mass Effect again sometime. It's not like, Derek said, it's been deprioritized. It hasn't been destroyed. And certainly Andromeda, for all of its failings, creates at least the potential for a comeback for the series. Whether that's, a continuation or down the line, if it's some sort of reboot or side story or something like that. I don't know. I want to be optimistic, like I said, about BioWare, because it's one of my most beloved studios, and I don't want it to be gone.
Yeah. No, and especially not just for having like sort of almost an unfair development situation handed to them, and then having the result be a lot of like negative backlash. And yeah, I don't know. I'm not as invested in some of the BioWare franchises, but I still think that they're worthy of continuation. I think the original Mass Effect trilogy was overall a really excellent experience that was pretty, it defined a lot of the generation, I think, because it was a game that really helped make the, like, choose your own storyline, branching dialogue options kind of thing. I think it didn't pioneer it, but it certainly popularized it. Mm-hmm. And it led to a lot of games imitating it for quite a while. So it's a very important trilogy of games. And I think Inquisition itself was perfectly fine. I didn't beat it, but I did spend probably like 40 hours with it or so. So I guess we'll see what comes next. We won't know for a few years, but it's happening.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's that. Yeah, thank you for your question. Yeah. Jay Scarpe. I think it's Joshua Carpenter is his like full display name, right? I don't know. Anyway, Jay, just Scarp, thank you so much for your question. And to all of our other listeners, feel free to get at us through the Discord if you have similar questions. And we may or may not be able to answer them, but we will do our best. Thank you for contributing that. Any other loose ends anybody else wants to touch upon that I didn't mention from Game Awards, etc.?
I think we covered most of it.
I think so.
There were some role-playing games we talked about.
Yeah, a handful. Okay, well then, with all that exciting news, we've got plenty of stuff to play at home. I know I'm going to be knee-deep in Smash for many weeks, especially with that Joker DLC coming. I gotta keep polishing my skills. But we'll have more exciting RPG talk in the coming weeks. I know there is a Final Fantasy XIV live letter happening a little less than 2 weeks from now. We may end up recording an episode before that happens, but Caitlin and I will definitely want to dish on that. Mm-hmm. And I would like to jump into Supergiant's Hades and hopefully have some impressions there. I won't 100% promise I'll do it, but I opened up the game store in my browser, so we'll see what happens.
One step closer.
One step closer. Well, if you've enjoyed the show today and you have any questions, comments, or spare potions, you can email us at podcast@rpgfan.com. Or as I mentioned before, you can get at us on the Discord, and Greg would be happy to read your questions and potentially field them on the show.
Yeah.
You can also subscribe to us through iTunes or the RSS feed, or you can like our page at facebook.com/rpgfancom and follow us on Twitter at rpgfancom. With that said, I think that's going to do it for us today. So thank you so much for tuning in. For me, Caitlin, Greg, and Nathan, we appreciate you listening, and we will see you all later. Children's chased into a spiral of flame.
What is that from?
It's the Smash Brothers main
Smash
theme.
Bros. theme song.
Oh God.